Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online, and it has been a while, so today I basically plan to catch up and try to get used to everything again, because I just realized as I am starting that it always takes me a long while to get used to everything, and I'm still in my newish setup. I haven't actually been able to play any game like the past 2 weeks, which is basically why I haven't streamed or had videos. I did have a couple videos, I believe, last week, but unintentionally did not have anything this week, so hopefully can get back to more regular content in the near future, or basically from here on. So I am going to start with my Guardian on Treebeard, and again, I keep looking around like everywhere because I have to get used to everything once again. And I need to turn my volume way down. Okay, so I did make a poll on YouTube, which I can no longer see, but when I was clicking around my Chrome tabs, I did see it on the actual watch page, but from my end, I cannot see anything, so I'll give that a minute, but I do have a Hobbit gift open. Anyway, what I am doing today is going to be starting on my Guardian on Treebeard and just leveling up. So there are a lot of kin events I missed the past couple weeks. I think my kin went through the rest of Barrow Downs, they went through Great Barrow, and I think the next thing is going to be starting Nan Wathrin and North Downs. And for people who have been following me and this character's progress, I plan to do North Downs on this Guardian, so it lines up perfectly to do North Downs, Nan Wathrin with my kin, do the group area with a group. So that is what I want to plan or prepare this character for today. But if there is time, and that's going to be the problem part, which was the case I think last stream like 2 weeks ago, if there is time, I would like to get on my Rune Keeper and maybe at least get him settled for Barrow Downs. So one issue that I just mentioned is with the time. Today's stream, not only was I late to my scheduled stream, but it is very late compared to my usual start time, which is about 2 hours earlier than this one is starting, actually, because I just got to it right now. My initial plans for the day weren't really that much, but I kind of opened a can of worms, so to speak, with doing more things with like my setup that you all cannot see. It's on the exact opposite side of what you all can see, but basically I decided that this would be my setup. I mentioned when I changed things around that I would potentially go back to the old. What am I doing on this character? Let me go somewhere useful before I ramble on way too much. I could actually do these repeatable quests. That wouldn't be bad. Although I want to at least do the intro. Let's do the Dead Spire and whatever I need to use the Cardolan trinkets. So I actually, I want to do those to unlock this stuff, and I think that'll be good for me to get some XP. For some reason, I'm thinking I had stuff set up differently, because I want to look to the left for chat instead of to the right. It's like way over on the right. That is, not a great position, unfortunately. So what I am going to do real quick, and this shouldn't mess anything up, is just change where OBS is and where Chrome is. Let's move this back here. And apparently I have 2 Chrome windows open. I did not know. Okay, finally set up things where I have no idea what is going on with all my windows, but there we go. Now things are not set up where they should be. Okay, one more try at this. There we go. Now things actually are set up where they should be. So it should be a little bit easier for me to read the chat now. And hello to Joseph Roper. You saw the poll and you were able to vote. So yeah, I'll probably close that a little bit soon, but thought that would be Helpful for me because I have asked before and not many people have responded if it is actually helpful to have the part number in the titles, especially for something like this when I'm doing very like broad general things. We're going west, this west. But it looks like people are in favor of having the part numbers in the title. And hello to Ivan Stainer. It has been a long time, and this is actually my first stream for a couple weeks as well. Oh, I reached a virtue cap. Looks like I have loyalty capped, wit capped, valor capped. Fidelity and honor would be the next two. At this level, honor is probably the better one to work on. I am running, as a reminder, on the deadly difficulty. I feel like that's something I don't need to emphasize so much anymore, but maybe I still do. But just so people are aware, I am running on deadly. So for the barrow treasures, if I remember correctly, the Dead Spire, either that is the rock picking quest or it is the quest from the guy that eventually gives the Bone Man quest. I am not sure, actually, but I'm guessing it's somewhere with the spire right here. One more thing. I have so many things that I want to point out, and as I mentioned right at the start of this stream, it'll take me a while to get settled and get used to things again as usual, but if y'all have any feedback on the audio, that would be appreciated. But I did test things a little bit before the stream started. I was actually finishing up eating, which seems to always be the case, but that's what I was doing before I started this stream. Let's see. Need to go, first of all, to the Barrow Downs map. I want to add, yeah, these are all for the Southern Barrow Downs, don't need those. We'll stop by the Bone Man Shade guy. I always call him the Bone Man guy because he's the one that gives that quest, but the Wandering Shade, I think, is his proper name. We'll go check what he has, and then head to the usual area, Old Forest, and back to the northern entrance. If I find him. Okay, so Wolf Mika, you said there is a kin war. Nose itching. You said there is a kin war on Shadowfax Warg party bus. In a turn of events, they just spam kin invites. That sounds annoying. So they do that in World Chat, and then Warg party bus is trying to steal members from turn of events. That is crazy. I thought Shadowfax was relatively small. I don't know how the population on Treebeard is doing. 308 right now. That's a little bit lower than it used to be a couple weeks ago when I was playing. Something is weird with the bushes. Not their normal like ugliness that I go on about, but something weird with, I think, these shadows or some way they are rendering right now. They're just something looks off with them. Especially at a distance. I don't know if y'all can see it, but just something when I move like this. I think it's with the shadows. I might try to change my settings. So Shadowfax is about 150 during peak time. I don't know if this is quite peak time, but yeah, we're at, what was it, like 304 right now? So maybe half or a little bit less potentially than Treebeard is what Shadowfax is at. But yeah, even with the small server, that sounds pretty annoying. What am I looking at? I need advanced graphics, there we go. I thought maybe something with the shadows. I don't really have those too high. What if I disable that one? Nope, still there. Landscape? Nope. dynamic shadows? Nope, still doing that. Environmental stencil shadows. This is from indoor props and architecture. That still is not fixing it. It could be something with, let's just turn high quality. No, still. Huh. I've noticed this with other bushes, but this is the time, I guess I decide, once I come back, that is when I finally decide I want to change it. I'm not sure it would be texture. It actually looks like it's still having it even with the texture is very low. So one thing I thought maybe anti-aliasing? No, that still does it. I turn it on 2 times because 8 times actually uses too much of my GPU. That's something very odd for LOTRO. But if I turn this all the way up to 8 times anti-aliasing, which I believe would be multi-sampling, they're like the same-ish thing as far as I remember. But if I turn it up to 8 times, not in this area, but other areas, it really, I don't think lighting would be. Yeah, it's still doing that. Just some weird artifacty looking things going on with the bushes when I move. And as far as I've noticed, actually those ones show it pretty bad in the distance. As far as I've noticed, it's only with the bushes. Like trees or other things like that don't really do it. But anyway, we can go ahead and move on. I don't want to spend the whole stream, my first one back from a break, just staring at my graphics settings. It's something I can maybe work on later, because as far as I know, I looked at everything I thought could potentially be causing the issue. And I'm running into something. Well, I have to get used to my keybinds as well. Just like from taking a break, just something I always have to get used to, what skills are. Alright, so Ivan, first of all, I'm sorry for being so slow with the chat as I'm settling in today, but Ivan, you said you needed to get back to LOTRO, you missed the game, and you haven't been on in a few weeks. That is an even longer time than I haven't been on. And yeah, I agree, actually. I don't think it's just you, that LOTRO is a game that is good at drawing you back in after a break. Alright, I have a bunch of quests, but I am just focusing on the ones I need to unlock barrel treasures and eventually cartilage trinkets whenever I get some of those. I don't remember if those can drop off the whites or not here. I think they can, but that is like essentially the important things that I want to do. I think there's one you needed to do, like I actually thought there was a quest card, cartilage treasures or something like that you had to do that quest to use the barrel treasures, but that does not appear to be the case actually. Crafting nodes would be quite helpful for me to get right now. No reason I can't kill Vargas. I don't mean to avoid combat, I actually do need quite a bit of XP just leveling up. I think I could do North Down starting at 20, but I don't know if there's much point starting it under leveled, especially with the XP rate on the server being 40%. Actually, I would probably want to be on level, even for a zone like North Downs where you seem to... It's kind of an extreme zone, I feel like, in over-leveling content as you go through it. So definitely wouldn't mind, I think, being on level at this point. I can't hear the game at all. That is not good. Yeah, it's only peaking at like -35 decibels. Oh, I see the issue. Usually it's at 17 instead of 7. We'll see if that helps it. Let me know. Yeah, the chair is squeaky, but let me know if that helps at all. So with the squeaky chair, oh, they get an eye over their head now. Interesting. I haven't actually played since they did the update with the eyes. And it's actually really nice not having that constantly going around. So many lore masters running around. I have seen a few. we can actually look. So Barroning has 30ish, no brawlers. Every time I'm hopeful there will be a brawler. 50 hunters. There's actually 42 guardians. Wow, I'm surprised it's such a popular class. And then Lore Master is so far the lowest, I think, at 13. Oh, that's even lower than the burglar there. Yeah, there's more of everything than Lore Master. It is like by far the least popular class. I think Warden was the next low, least popular at twice the number of Wardens as there are Lore Masters. I don't think Lore Master is that bad of a pick either. I guess it's just a class people don't want to play here on Treebeard. What are other... I can do all these quests. That is definitely something I could do. Maybe I should just work on doing all the quests. That would be more fun than trying to pick and choose. Especially with like the base quests and not necessarily doing the reputation quest, but I think the rep quest would be helpful because I want the reputation to get the return to Bree skill. Also with level 20, there actually was a problem, I'm just remembering it. One reason I didn't want to get too much XP is actually because at level 20, you unlock missions, and I don't think skirmishes are available on the server yet, but you do unlock missions, and I wanted to do a lot of those, basically, and doing those, I will definitely get XP. So I thought that was something I could actually do to bridge the gap between level 20 and North Downs, so I didn't have to do too much of Barrow Downs. So that is something I am just remembering, because I have the Legacy of Bilbo. That is not what it is. I have the Further Adventures of Bilbo Baggins. I think that's what it was called. Something like that. And then what else? I don't know if I want to quite do these. I'll go ahead and start with it. I could always come back to it. There's something I needed to do. Maybe I will, yeah, come back to these. Did I get a lore fragment here? Thought I already did. Northwest I go. I feel very low level. Like, I still don't have a character level 20 on the server, and it's been out for over a month. I assume at this point a lot of people are... Oh, I have no classes set. I assume a lot of people are higher level, like people in the 30s, 40s, even 50. Right now I'm just at base deadly. But one of the points of thinking about that was that I think the difficulty actually goes up, if I remember correctly, at level 20 by quite a bit. I don't know if the flame strike effect does much more at level 20, but from what I have seen is corruptions become a lot nastier basically at 20. But I have yet to actually properly experience that, besides the little bit I did with it in the beta, which wasn't really that much. Speaking of beta, we are in August already. I can't believe it's already August, but that aside, if I remember correctly, we might see some stuff for Gundabad coming into beta this month. If I remember correctly. I think potentially the LI revamp, which by the way, there was a leak on the LI revamp. I have no reason to believe it's not legitimate. I actually thought about doing a video of it, but I guess what happened is the stream instead. Oh, these things are killing me. I know I went into that with low health, but I guess I forgot the having to pay attention to combat. One of the ways LOTRO has conditioned me is that I don't have to pay attention or care about my health or anything like that. Use that scroll. It's basically a useless scroll, 95 max power. I was seeing if I had any of those kind of junky consumables, but that was all I really had. Ooh. Oh yeah, missions. Lone Lands, we are not doing Lone Lands. I should have filtered that quest though. I'm surprised you didn't get an intro for Wildwood missions. And I am on Treebeard, Reddish Beard. Ooh, we got 3 spiders at once, that is scary. We'll see if the corruption thing is real, I guess, at this point. I used to be able to take on 3 mobs at once. We'll see if suddenly leveling to 20 has changed that. And it does not appear to be the case so far. But I also didn't see any corruptions. Okay, so with the corruptions, improved seeing, now is a corruption removal and it's once every 2.5 seconds, so that's very nice. Turn the tables. I honestly don't know where to put that. We'll do, how about, I usually put actually these. My Guardian setup is really weird because of 1, the shield skills, and 2, the parry response skills, and all the base skills. And then you have the taunts and ranged attacks and the such to go on top of all of that. I actually really almost feel like I could switch to Yellow Line just for numb senses at this point. Alright, Sweeping Cut. That can have a chance to bleed now. That's very exciting. I feel like I got that trait point at level 19 though, because I thought you got them every other level, which would make that 19. I think the debuff gives me a big mischance, yeah. There we go, actually remember to use Overwhelm instead of Thrust there. Okay, so to catch back up a little bit. Oh, so it sounds like for you, Wolfmick, it was the opposite at level 20 on Dangerous you were dying badly on your champion, but then it was easier until 30 or 40 where the difficulty ramps up again. That is an interesting perspective. I wonder if one thing is also a gear, perhaps at that point. I don't know in your case, but perhaps at that point you were just accumulating better gear and the such that help make it easier. We'll see with this character how I feel. Also, as you get higher level, you get more traits and all that sort of stuff that will definitely help you. That was one thing I was talking about a lot earlier in my Treebeard experience, was earlier in my landscape difficulty experience in Treebeard. I thought I saw something shoot like a web from behind me. That's why I thought there was a spider back there. Well, let's see. Early in the experience, yeah, I was talking about how the difficulty was fun, but it wasn't as fun as I guess I thought it would be at higher level, because you didn't really have the resources to deal with stuff. Enemies got corruptions and you had no corruption removals until level 20. And you also didn't have debuff removers, and even if you did, or eventually when you got them, I got one now, they only remove 1 debuff at a time, which is okay, but when you're fighting multiple mobs, especially with the very strong debuffs at this level, ooh, I did not even see that square. And I used the wrong potion there. That was bad all around. Oh well, we lived, but that was still bad. Okay. Wonder Gears. I am very slow with chat, but Wonder Gears. I'm glad the videos have helped you with the long break. And yeah, once they update the legendary item system, I am very interested in what that will look like. Hey, this time I saw the square. So there was the corruption. We didn't really get to see it. I'll try to actually not remove it before we can see it. I do have the eye effect, but it just doesn't show on me. And I do technically have a high level burglar, but I don't really play them. The highest level burglar that I would consider an active one is around 40. Anything here? Just spiders. I forget how many spiders I need. It's probably a sort of lost cause, honestly, for this character to work on that deed. Looks like there are 2 Spider Slayer deeds, which would be helpful to get done in here, but I'm not entirely sure I can. We'll see. If I have extra time today, or have extra time before we actually do Nan Wathrin and the such, then I will just come back here, and I think this would be a great deed for me to get done. There are a lot of great deeds for me to get done there. That's actually one problem I've almost run into with the completionist style at this point, is I'm getting too much virtue XP. I've had to almost, I hate to say this, but almost waste virtue XP. I think almost my Rune Keeper has actually run into that issue even more than this one. One help I can give with the burglar is, especially if you play Redline, always be pressing buttons. I'm not sure there is ever a time in the burglar rotation that you should not be. I am heading towards the exit, right? Let's go ahead and remove those debuffs. Having to use a lot of consumables today. That does not bode well for how long I will survive here in the Barrow Downs today. Okay, so these require me to complete the quest, the Dead Spire. How about Cartolin? That's a well-kept method. That is not a Cartolin trinket. Okay, I think I already have consumables. I have regen food eaten. I don't have snapper soup. That would be quite helpful. Except that it was interrupted by the slow hand. Wrong one. And yes, Rob Peters, I usually stream often. And just to point out, I am on Treebeard, not Shadowfax. But I usually stream often. It's just the past 2 weeks I have not streamed at all and have not played any video game actually the past 2 weeks. So it's weird to get back to it, but I like it. After a break, I always quickly remember why I enjoy playing games like this. Okay, so there was one thing somebody asked. Yeah, Flavin there, they asked why, or what do I say when folks ask why LOTRO? And for me, one of the big reasons is the world building. Also, people I play games with play here. And I don't know, it's just, out of all the MMOs I have played lately, it is the one I enjoy the most. I will say Final Fantasy XIV is probably my number 2 MMO, even though I've barely played it at this point. I've only done, I don't know how many hours I've played it, maybe, I would estimate 6 to 10 hours or so, something like that. I think I've done 3 parts, 3 streams of it, but I honestly don't remember how long they were. And it's something I've been meaning to get back to because I did it, I think I started a couple months ago, a month and a half ago, something like that. But basically LOTRO got on the way, especially with the new servers launched. I always felt like playing LOTRO instead of that. And by the way, the reason, I don't think I ever went into detail on it, but immersion is one of the great things in LOTRO. I always feel greatly immersed even doing something like this. this is the thought that I have almost on repeat with this server, is it is too easy, even with the deadly difficulty. I feel like it's too easy, but then I also like to pull multiple enemies at once, and I feel like it is not too easy when that happens. So I actually ultimately think that the difficulty balance is quite good. Calming the Wake, defeat whites. There should be plenty of whites. I don't need to defeat these specific ones, I don't think. So the thing I think I can get up there is the text. And I don't want to quite focus on that quest yet. So Wolf Mecha, you said you don't like the landscape difficulty because even though you level up faster with like the increased XP, you feel slower. Yeah, I feel like if you kill things slower and it just takes you longer to go about things, it would definitely ultimately... Oh. Captain looked AFK and then I saw there as a barrow iron deposit. Let's get Lalia. That is one thing I wanted to do. But anyway, if you progress a lot slower, even though you get more XP per kill, that could definitely feel too slow, especially if you are playing on Shadowfax where you want to level up super fast to keep up. I could definitely see it being more of an annoying thing. For me, on this Guardian, I don't know so much the Rune Keeper, but on this Guardian, I kill single mobs very quickly, often. Not really that one, partially because I didn't have force opening. Fortunately, as usual, I seem to be getting an itchy face, but that is just a regular thing during streams. I only notice it when I am like streaming or doing a video or something. And about the books, so reading the books in my spare time, the problem is this is what I do in my spare time. That is one, something I don't want to do, to be honest, and two, it would eat into my time to play LOTRO, do videos, and all that sort of stuff. I also read too much. Anyway, that Matham keeps making me think it is a cartilage trinket thing. I hope that's what they're called. Whatever the big reputation thing is for the Minute Brie. I think most of these weapons at this point, looks like I have the Crusher of Tarbers for my weapon still. Actually, I'm level 20. I could probably craft myself a nice level 20 weapon. In fact, I thought I did do that. Maybe I didn't. Huh. I also should probably pay attention to the whites. They can definitely be dangerous with this difficulty. But that's the thing with the difficulty that I was going on about earlier, is one mob makes it seem like it's too easy, but then this bush isn't having any weird like display issues. It only seems to be when I get far away. I don't know if it's like just because of the way the bush is that you're seeing stuff behind it and it just makes it look really weird. But I don't know if y'all can quite see that. It's just a weird artifacty looking thing going on in the bushes. There's that captain. Yeah, my chair is squeaky. That's something I also kind of forgot about, but I thought about changing this chair. The problem is I don't want to, because this chair works, it's just squeaky. I don't want to change my chair just to do that, and I would honestly rather like a mesh back chair, just because this is like really hot and I don't like that, and my back basically sweats the entire time I'm in this chair, in the summer at least. I don't remember in the winter if it was this bad. Probably not, because it was like 10 degrees cooler in here in the winter. Which, by the way, I think I might have to change my AC, turn that down at some point. So the bush obsession, this is different than just the bushes being ugly, which they are, but there is some weird thing going on with the display. The only thing is with the bitrate I have on the stream, which is 16 megabits per second, I don't know if that quite captures what I can see. And I'm too used to, I'm like, I guess because I haven't played this character in a while, haven't played my characters in a while, I'm going to my habits, muscle memory, that's what it's called. I'm going back to like the muscle memory of a high level Guardian. You'll probably see me using thrust a lot more than I should, but that is because I am going on the idea of using force opening, whatever that is called, retaliation, using thrust, and then using to the king. The problem is I don't have to the king, so I queue up overwhelm and it never goes off because I use thrust, and that consumes that state of using retaliation. Yeah, the Doctor of Christ Quigley, he said you see me, and I am very bright in the frame. It's because I guess I have all my lights on, but the webcam should like darken. Should probably be a little bit darker than what it is, I feel like. It has auto brightness. And this is something I actually thought about is, I guess the problem with manually doing my brightness on the webcam is it takes a while, so I have to go, if it was just like a keybind I could do or something like that, that would be fine, but I have to go to properties, I have to configure video, I have to not get, have to configure video, then I go to camera control, turn that off, do something like that, because I feel like this would be better brightness. I don't know if you all agree, that's actually a good question. But in the evening time, if you all prefer brightness like this, which I think looks better just to me looking at my small preview screen, but the other one just looked to over brightening. I feel like the default light settings on the webcam seem to have it over bright. Usually it does a good job, I feel like, but I don't know why. It just sometimes doesn't want to actually turn the brightness down, even though I really like it for when it's low light or when light is going to change. So today, I guess one good thing about starting so late, we did finish Talia, right? Well, I need to get the intro quest here anyway. That is right. See, when you go through Barrow Downs from the east side and you skip this, you actually go right back to him with Lalia. That is a real strategy. And best classes for endgame, there are quite a few. I think each class pretty much serves a purpose, so they're all pretty good. I really wonder what could be considered the current best class. Captain, I would say, used to be, just because you had all three specs being at least somewhat viable. Blue line being the iffiest one, but that definitely had its uses. Which I believe is still the case with the blue line Captain. The yellow line tanking Captain is just a little bit weaker than it was, and the red line a little bit weaker than it was. Actually, I don't know so much with the yellow line. Maybe it's a lot weaker than it used to be. I need to clean my inventory, which I thought I did. I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but I did a lot of cleaning my inventory, as in putting a bunch of stuff in my vault. But what I have not done, how did I get, probably from a Hobbit gift. They were so nice to give me something I can't use for like 5 more months on this server. But let's go ahead and do a full inventory clean. I will keep the acorn blade, just because it sounds, I actually don't know what I just locked. Perch fillet, okay. There it is, cartilage trinket, I looted one. That requires me to do the Treasures of Cardolan quest, which I believe I don't have completed, apparently. I thought I did. I have Barrow Treasure Introduction, okay. I think this leads to the Treasures of Cardolan quest, or whatever it was. Maybe? Actually, don't even know. But yeah, maybe we'll do a bunch of turn-ins or something. Go to Southbury, I mean, and do that. Which is just one turn-in as far as I know, actually. Alright, lock these. Ooh, want to lock these kites even though I never use them. Hope none of that was useful. Okay. Back to turning in quests. Oh, meta, okay. So, that probably seems really random what I just said, but I was reading Wonder Gear's comment, and you said on the last legendary server you didn't find it to be mega slaves, and that confused me. But you corrected that to meta slaves, as in everybody just follows the meta and only takes the meta, essentially, is how I interpret that. I actually need a shield. I don't know how long-term this character will be, but I figure at some point I might actually start working on the shield deeds. And it's good to have a shield. Another reason to have a shield is shield skills are insanely strong with the Guardian, it seems like. So I almost want to use a shield for DPS at this point, and it will give me a boost to survivability. Actually, Treasures of Cardolan. I have the quest right now. I thought it was one of the rep quests, actually, that eventually went to that, but to use the Cardolan trinkets, I have to do the Treasures of Cardolan, which is this chest right here in the middle of this white camp. That almost looked like a warden. Looks like a warden with a knife, but it is actually a guardian. Oh, okay, so the Doctor of Christ Squiggly said you see me in-game, and I thought you meant, like, watching the stream you could see my character, but you meant you were actually in the game. See, this is the slowness I have when I'm gone for 2 weeks. You meant that you actually saw my character, you were playing the game and saw. I don't know if you're that Guardian right there, the knife and shield one, or if you're maybe that hunter. But sorry I missed you. I see it sounds like you're killing crawlers. And yes, Obi-Cat Kitanobi, you asked if I will ever try Final Fantasy XIV again on stream, and I plan to. I, of course, already have the 3-ish parts. I even already have the thumbnail ready for the next part, which is usually... The big hurdle for me with streams, unfortunately, is thumbnails. Just because with YouTube, when you stream, it eventually becomes a regular video, and of course videos need thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. And because I am the way I am, I always try to make good thumbnails even for these streams, so they take a while to make, is the point. But I already have that done. All I have to do is spend like, I don't even know how long, maybe like 10 minutes setting things up from YouTube's end. And there we go, I'm ready for the stream. When usually I would say thumbnail and everything, the stream prep process, just in terms of getting it set up and everything, is probably half an hour to an hour, usually for me, which is a long time. It's something I've thought about trying to make more efficient or quicker. Well, why would I use the old sword I just got when I can get a new sword here? Maybe if I roll champion instead I could dual wield them. But yeah, this one's a little... Oh, this is a BOE, it's not a quest reward. That makes more sense why it's so much worse. Acorn blade. It actually has a little bit of a fancy handle. But it does look like it is meant to cut acorns or something. It's a little boring one. This one should cut some horns or something. This is actually a great barrel quest. Anyway, with all this distractedness, we got the quest done that I wanted to get done. So, considering the time and how late I started this stream, it is probably a good idea for me to go ahead and wrap up the stuff on the Guardian, and we can maybe do missions later. I do want to just make sure there are no deeds that I really can get done. It looks like I already did the quest deed, so no need to worry about that. The barrel spiders, that is something I can come back and do. Pretty much all this stuff I can come back and do. White Slayer, Gravedigger, yeah, all this stuff we can come back and do. So I think the next part of this stream, I will log into my Rune Keeper and actually log into the Rune Keeper, unlike what happened last time, and I just stayed on the Guardian the whole time, which was okay. Go ahead and turn this quest in. Actually, don't know what other quests I had to turn in. Maybe just 2 over here. But the big thing with reputation, which of course doing actually the barrel downs properly, doing all the quests there, be quite helpful with reputation, is...
How can I be of service? Greetings.
Let's see, miscellaneous... Yeah, it'll be this one.
How can I be of service?
Return to Bree. This skill, I think, is one of the most powerful skills you can get in LOTRO, just because it's such a convenient travel that you can get on every race except Race of Man to return to Bree, which is basically the travel hub in LOTRO, South Bree especially. So it's a very nice skill to have. And for Race of Man characters, you can get the racial version of this, but yeah, it's always a good thing. I try to get this on every single character I make, and the big hurdle right now, of course, for this one is more barrel treasures and more reputation. So one thing with the reputation is the skirmish camp, but I doubt I'm going to get enough marks and medallions to barter for those. So I don't know, we'll have to see. Maybe the auction house, that's something I can use. I guess I can check that. Just check the price of these things. It's probably going to be expensive. That would be my guess. Actually, 38 of these or whatever. I might as well bid on that. If anybody is on Treebeard and interested in cartilage trinkets, please do not bid on those. And don't bid on these. It'd be much appreciated. I will need some of these, but I'm not quite that desperate yet. I just saw those good bids and was checking the price. Anyway, I feel like that settles the Guardian. He's level 20. I can technically do Nan Wathrin. I'm ready for my kin event if I can't play him Monday or Tuesday, which I can't Tuesday. I already know that. Monday, I have no idea. That's the problem with being so busy today, and immediately like my next focus was being on actually getting the stream in at some point, even if it was a lot later than usual, is I haven't really thought about this week besides knowing Tuesday is off. So tomorrow would be the only other possibility. I think I will probably try to work on a video tomorrow. I mentioned the legendary item revamp, there being a leak on that from alpha. I like briefly brought it up and I don't think I mentioned anything about it more than that. That guy looks just like me. Almost. Never mind. Not quite as much like me looking from the front view, but still. We looked both reasonably appropriate for our level. Unlike that guy who is level 12 and looks like he's level like 110 or something. Why am I crafting on this character anyway? I like just went into autopilot crafting on him. And that is not what I want to do. What I do want to do on my Rune Keeper is kind of the same thing as my Guardian. I want to get him level 20. I don't really know the future of this Rune Keeper though, to be honest. And I have no idea what quest I have to turn into as second watcher Hearth Draw. But yeah, getting him to level 20, that to me is a good baseline level for characters in LOTRO, because you get skirmishes, instances, missions. Of course, not on this server. You don't have all that stuff. You don't have all the instances, don't have all these skirmishes, but or don't have any skirmishes at this point. But you have some instances. Great Barrow and the such can run that, and opens up, I guess, 2 possible zones. Just a lot more possibilities than the such level 20. That's almost one reason I feel like the titles for the difficulty should have been started at 20, but I also feel like at the same time it actually kind of works at level 10, oddly. Okay, so what do I want to do? We did Northern Barrow Downs. I actually did Northern Barrow Downs, so say I skip Southern Barrow Downs on my Guardian, that is perfect for this character to pick up the slack. So we'll almost continue, sort of, where my Guardian left off. And wow, I have a lot of these. See, even this character hasn't done the Treasures of Cardalin quest, and I'm not level 20, so I can't use the Barrow Treasures. But yeah, even this character is suffering from needing the reputation items, but he's also the perfect one that can almost farm the rep items, actually.
Might have take a moment of your time.
You can actually go in this building.
What do you need?
Wow. I am just discovering this NPC exists. In all my time playing LOTRO, I don't think I've ever been inside this building, the Hunting Lodge. That looks like a dangerous boar. Is that? Oh, that's a staff. It looked almost like a hammer before I actually read what it was. That is a neat looking spear. You have to have confidence 2 to equip it. Traveler's beard, is that? Oh, that's actually an item. I didn't know if that... Oh, bread, it's not beard. Apparently I cannot read today. There is patched woodcutter's pack. Can't really see that with the loot there. That's a neat backpack. Elegant backpack. Not a fan of the elegant backpack, to be honest. I think the tree on the top actually ruins the backpack. But the prized liver chestnut steed, that is probably what is most appealing to me. I think if I just search liver. No? Oh, we're on the pet tab. Liver. That's a pretty decent horse. It's a little bit of... I honestly think that color for a horse is a little bit boring. But that one's also a little bit reddish, that it makes it not just plain old brown or tannish horse. So that's pretty neat. I like base horses that don't have like extravagant armor or things like that. Wow. Like, all 3 have the same mount. They're all 3 level 16. Oh, 2 of them are 15, never mind. There are actually 4 of them. They're all named very similarly. I would almost think they're multi-boxing or something, but they could actually be 4 different people. Just because of how scattered they were. If they were on follow or standing at the exact same spot, I would assume multi-box. Okay, so... Wolf Mika, you had a rift run where 4 people actually came wearing the exact same outfit, but it was not cosmetic. It was like their actual armor. And yeah, that is a little bit strange, but I wonder if that's just because they had maybe crafted armor or whatever the best armor they have for level 50 is, which I guess that is actually an interesting thought. My assumption is that crafted armor is the best for level 50. except for maybe the jewelry. There might be some missions and Wildwood instances jewelry that is better, and perhaps even the Will of the Willow instance might have better armor. And Agaroth the Narrow Delve could potentially have better than crafted jewelry. And I already covered missions, which I think are pretty good stuff. There is also actually quest stuff. The stuff in Eregion, as far as I know, is very, very good for level 50 as well. And maybe some of the best stuff you can get is there. Like, if I remember correctly, there is a very nice quest reward bow at some point in Eregion that, for example, my Guardian would love to get at some point. Alright, I need to actually pay attention to where I'm going because I'm trying to run into hills apparently. My chair feels extra squeaky. Like, I know it's been squeaky, and in the past and previous streams it has been squeaky, but it just seems in excess today. Hopefully it's not too annoying, too loud for you all. But yeah, that's just the way it is. I don't know if that's something... I've never actually done this or looked into this, but that might be something you can put like lubricant or something to help that, but I am going into uncharted territory
What can I do for you?
as far as my knowledge on things go.
Can I split with you?
As far as my knowledge on squeakiness, I guess,
I'd
goes.
like to take a moment of your time.
And I wouldn't know where to do that.
Stay a moment. Would you do something for me?
I guess one possibility. Gilgallion, that sounds maybe familiar just because it's a very elvish name. But yeah, I was talking about potentially upgrading my chair. There are a few concerns with that. One, the cost of a chair. The chair I have was, I think, around $100. And compared to other chairs which were more expensive, this is actually a comfortable chair for the most part. Besides the upholstery, which is bonded leather, I don't like that at all. Where am I going? And why am I going this way? We're doing Southern Barrow Downs, not Northern Barrow Downs. Oh, we actually are doing Northern Barrow Downs. Aha, my autopilot brain was going the right way. But one consideration actually with getting a new chair is I could potentially actually take this to my office. Just to, because I would hate getting a chair and then just having this do nothing. Because it's a perfectly fine chair. Besides, I've only had it less than a year. And the arm pad, bonded leather, is already like tearing. I don't know what the back end... Oh, what? I honestly was not paying attention. Did I just like die from things hitting me? Yeah. Oopsies. Oh, I know. Okay. This character is still on Deadly +6. I totally forgot about that minor detail. So we're going to do a full retreat, except I did not want to end up here. We're going back to Kellendam. This isn't good. But yeah, this character is on max difficulty, and I do not want to solo on tier 9 on him. We'll go down to something more reasonable, like when I was going on my Guardian. I'll try Deadly to match the Guardian. We'll try tier 3. But I have not actually played this Rune Keeper solo. It has all been with a group, and we are running on max difficulty with the group with my kinship. Okay, so that shouldn't have failed anything. So we're back down, or yeah, down to Deadly. Go to Westbury. Do all this traveling all over again. How exciting. Now I can talk more about chairs and how nice and annoying at the same time this chair is. But yeah, the arm pad is starting to tear up a little bit, and the back of the chair, since I have it covered, I don't know what it's like behind it. Hopefully not that bad. And the bottom of the chair, I also have that covered, so hopefully it's not too bad. The left arm pad, where I don't really put my elbow, I guess I lean to the right a lot, and maybe if I didn't put my elbow on the arm pad to put my hand on my chin, that wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I don't really lean to the left. Also been playing the red line. That's probably not going to be a great thing when we get into the actual gameplay. Also, at this point, I'm probably going backwards of the most efficient route, but this is okay. Oh, there we go. The pig worked. I think we're at a point where it's time for me to lean back. That is still one thing that is, I guess, just unfortunate about this setup. I really don't like doing this that much, even though it's comfortable. But for me to like lean back in the relaxed position and have my legs stretched out, that's actually the biggest thing. Having the legs stretched out is I have to scoot way back compared to the old setup where it was just, oh yeah, I have to pay attention to combat. And I'm in the red line, which I already mentioned is not a good thing. I do have some heals, and the self-heals that Runekeeper has with just Prelude to Hope is actually quite strong. So I do have that to work with. I also have potions. Let's see, got the white killed. There are all those lore masters here, which really look like multi-box now. But yeah, to stretch my legs out, basically I have to go way back here and be falling. I feel like I'm falling out of the face cam, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And I have to move the microphone like way up, so the audio is probably inconsistent because of that. The good thing with the audio and the microphone is I actually do have a consistent position for its normal place. Because that was an issue I used to run into. I just kind of put it somewhere in a general area. Okay, let's switch specs. Oh no, no, I'm without a spec, but I would put it in a general area, and I feel like it would be inconsistent actually. And I am squishy compared to the Guardian. That's like the biggest difference I notice. Of course I'm killing this thing slow, but I'm not spec'd right now. And also with the previous fights, I was having to run around because of my squishiness. But yeah, I was having to run around in the such, and I couldn't really build to Smoldering Wrath, which is by far the strongest Fire Runekeeper ability. Get Ceaseless Argument. I think somebody is healing me that is not me. Probably Shocking Touch, actually. And then... I'd almost consider getting one more second Daze duration and damage on that, but I think I'll go with Crit Chance. Do a normal-ish Runekeeper build. Okay. I wonder at this level, even at this level, Ceaseless Argument is stronger. But yeah, I think at this point should be good to compare to the Guardian more realistically. Unfortunately, weapons don't really have any impact for tactical classes until it's either until pretty high level or just straight up until you get your legendary item. I feel like that's one reason, at least, that tactical classes are so weak at low levels, especially below level 20 is kind of what I feel like. Roughly level 20 is when their damage goes more normal, I guess, relative to physical classes, but they are really weak at low levels. It looks like I have a turn into the west, actually. Wonder what my crafting is at with this character. I wonder how many LOTRO points I have. I accidentally opened the LOTRO store, but now I'm curious. 5,503. Oh yeah, I bought when the Valors went on sale. I bought one of those. I either bought one or two of them, but I think I got one of them for a potential brawler or even transferring eventually to a Nor. Although I'd actually honestly hope it's the other way around. So we have the collecting history quest. This has been a lot of running on the Rune Keeper. I feel like I've gotten nothing done. But what I was thinking I could do is I don't plan to do all of Southern Barrow Downs because it's probably a good point for me to actually be close to wrapping up the stream, which by the way, speaking of wrapping up the stream, I meant to wrap up the poll about an hour ago. So I ended the poll. We'll see if YouTube actually gives us the results. And it did give us the results. So with 47 votes, we had 93% of them say the title, or the part numbers in the title is helpful, while 6% of people did not find it helpful. I thought about adding a third choice that you don't like, I don't care. Basically would have been the third choice, and the problem I foresaw is probably most people don't really care, is my impression on that, but it is good to know that more people do prefer it than people that don't prefer the title or part number in the title. I want to see if I unlocked anything here. I know I already stopped here, got all the quests, but okay, no breadcrumbs or anything. But yeah, what I thought I could do, if I can actually go on consistently for a little bit, is maybe visit one barrow, but really maybe do some of these repeatable quests because I know I will go back to them. How about Bone Man? We'll go to Bone Man, then come back up north to turn-ins and the such. I think that'll be a good stopping point for the stream and this character. Because I really just want to get him settled, but I also do want to get some actual gameplay. Something feels off with these cooldowns. Maybe that's just the way they are. What are the cooldowns on these? I thought it was 2 seconds. Oh, so Ceaseless Argument is 2 seconds. Rid of Lightning and Scribe Spark are 3 seconds. Okay. I feel like the flow is just slightly off with these 3 lightning skills to build attunement. Ever since they made Ceaseless Argument actually have a cooldown, other than the essential global cooldown that LOTRO has, which is just animations of skills actually. But ever since they made that change, I just feel like the tempo of the cooldowns and how they work together with these 3 skills feels a little bit off. Okay, I do want to kill everything, but yeah, Lightning is weak right now. I don't know if it's because this character is weak, again, the whole tactical classes issue, or if it's because Lightning is weak, or maybe it's a combination of Lightning being weak and this character being weak. So, I figure let's investigate and see if fire is any better. The biggest thing with fire is building up, as I always talk about with the Fire Rune Keeper now, for Smoldering Wrath, and that thing, as we saw with that single white, still just kills things. But outside of that, this is even rougher than Lightning outside of that. How much damage do these actually do? Not that much. Yeah, so I can either go all in on Smoldering Wrath, or I can be a little bit better during... Oops. Well, this ain't gonna be good. I'd rather be a DPS spec than the heal spec, but I guess I had to retrait and not just switch the character to heal mode. The good thing about healing is I can help with the squishiness some. Just out heal any damage I'm going to take. Like if I actually did one of those like elite or elite master mob solo, assuming they didn't one-shot me, even on just base tier 3 deadly. If they did not one-shot me, the strategy I think would actually be to play the heal spec and just try to out-heal it if I couldn't kite. There is... I feel like I ran into that guy earlier. See the knife shield guy? Guardian? Looks like a different shield though. Because apparently I am paying that much attention to the people I run into today. Alright, back on track. We need Bargus. I think there's a Bargus Slayer deed as well. Okay, there we go. Got my stuff repositioned where I want. Accidentally clicked a skill, but that started combat, so that's okay. I think that guy shook my screen from all the way over there. I'll get a ton of whites later, so we can focus on the Bargus, and I think the Relics of Cardolan I'll just get from either anything or... yeah, it looks like anything. I was going to say either anything or just the whites, but looks like anything. I don't have my debuff remover. I guess I could check my skills, just double check that. Does not look like I have my debuff remover. But fortunately, I have some strong self-heals as a Rune Keeper. I don't know if Sustaining Bolt heals. Does not look like it does. At this point, I know Sustaining Bolt eventually heals, but at this point it does not look like it has any healing effect. If I look at the traits, I'm guessing it's right here. Sustaining Bolt also heals morale. I also did not know at this point its potency wasn't based on the amount of attunement you have. That is actually something I just learned that trait also does. Yeah, so the thing with blue versus yellow, I guess, with the Rune Keeper solo, is usually with the yellow line, I think you can actually kite things, and that would usually be more optimal, but if you run into situations where you can't really kite or crowd control, then that is the one point I could see the blue line being better, just because you can out-heal the damage you can take and slowly chip away at their health. It'd be very slow, of course, in the blue line, but I guess it increases your maximum potential when the yellow line doesn't work. And I don't think the red line is a great candidate for soloing tough content, I guess. Even if its damage can be better. If you can build up attunement quickly, even at this level though, it could be better for signatures if Smoldering Wrath is strong enough to kill your enemies, and you don't have to worry about the whole slow part of the yellow or the red Rune Keeper. I talked way back when I started playing on Treebeard and the whole difficulty thing about potentially the Rune Keeper being better than the Guardian for solo, because of your ability to crowd control and kite and the such in the yellow line and essentially avoid getting hit. Especially thinking if you do like max difficulty, if you do tier 9 solo, which I could eventually try on this character, it'd probably be extremely slow. And I'd have to be a lot more careful than I am right now to avoid just getting hit basically at all. There's also this skill, which I think usually wouldn't be worth using, but you could get a little bit of distance from yourself and the mob using that, but the thing right now is the damage is just really low. And I'm keep running into whites. I'm not even making much progress into this area. Don't think that's the one I need. Actually it is, that is the Bone Man, and I just died. Fortunately I did not use my free revive, because I knew I had to travel way out anyway to get whatever I needed to do. Oh yeah, turn the difficulty down. That was definitely my fault on the dying there. I could have played that better, one, by healing myself, and two, managing the enemy better. Oh, tab target is not working right now. That one was still my fault, I would say. I feel like it's silly to die and not say it's like your fault in the first place. But it's time for me to sit up. I think I did not want to go to his little garden area. I don't know if I'd quite call that a garden, but his side yard. Anyway, with that one, the tab targeting, that was the issue there. Unfortunately, when I pressed tab, it did not go to the mob that was in combat with me next to the white I was targeting. So the plan there was to shocking touch the one I was not fighting, which I could have shocking touched the one I was fighting if it really was a dire situation. And then outside of that, I think I could even have used shocking words and then quickly healed and done a bubble. I also could have used a potion, so there were a lot of options I had. But yeah, what I am thinking is I still want to finish, I think, that quest, go ahead and just get it done, and get these repeatables done. That is the main thing. The Bone Man quest was just something, a bonus to give me actual direction for where to go. But I might just kill a few whites and a few Bargus and get wrapping up with this stream. Something seems off either with my view distance or the Barrow Downs just really doesn't let you view out all that far. Yeah, I think it's the Barrow Downs, the spooky fogginess of the daytime Barrow Downs where you just cannot see out that far. I'm so used to playing the game at nighttime because that seems to be the... Whenever I play LOTRO, that just seems to be what time it is in the game. So I really like to savor the daytime, and I'm not used to it actually at all in the Barrow Downs. Okay, so there are a bunch of Bargus and whites here. Perfect. Assuming I can actually survive it. I feel like I need to get this character gear upgrades, but he's running actually level 15 armor crafted. But tactical classes, I am feeling the weakness right now. It's something I guess I noticed in the group is other people, whenever we did the group content with my kin on higher difficulty, of course was even weaker on the higher difficulty. But I noticed relative to the other people in the group, such as we actually had a bunch of physical classes, they were all, by all appearances, way stronger than me. And I feel like this is essentially a confirmation for how weak this character is at this point. Again, I don't know when the Rune Keeper really gets better. Like, again, relative to physical classes, but right now it is awfully slow, and as far as I know it does get better. They start doing relatively more damage eventually. I still have all my kiting options, crowd control options, and the such. So as far as like the ability to solo stuff, I think that's all still there. The 2 deaths I've had are just me playing bad. That usually eventually happens. If I ever actually go through a full stream, especially on this server, without dying, then I'd say that would be more of a miracle than, or more crazy than me just dying a bunch. And I honestly think a lot of my deaths in the game are just from either laziness or laziness due to the way LOTRO has conditioned me. I started talking about this, it's been a long time, but I started talking about this and this idea for a video about how LOTRO has conditioned me as a gamer. And basically it's conditioned me to making me think that that the game is super easy and I don't have to pay attention to anything and I can be lazy as I just described and not really go through the extra steps of making sure I'm healed, looking at my health, all that sort of normal stuff that I feel like you should have to do. So it's something I ran into with Louisden with the update 30 content. yeah, update 30 Blood of Azog as Hannibalizar content. Doing that, there were some issues mainly with the Goblin Sappers. Those guys are deadly. They were deadly in previous areas, and they were definitely still deadly in the new zone. So I had to actually pay attention, was the big thing. I'm so used to, especially on that character in high level content in LOTRO, it's even more extreme for high level content, just not paying attention at all because characters are insanely powerful at that point. But also, so are Goblin Sappers at that point, it appears, so it's something I have to get used to again with that character and the such. Okay, gotta get a great screenshot with the wonderful lighting. For some reason that'll be the screenshot for this character. But I need to get screenshots also of the environment. Gotta think about thumbnails. That is the big thing screenshots are useful for with me, rather than actually just taking interesting screenshots. I like to get, for thumbnails, I do like to get interesting screenshots, but ones with very same, like the whole screenshot is like the same color essentially, is usually good, or a little bit variation, like the sky and the such is usually in the background. Up at the top, like where text is essentially in my thumbnails, and gives a sense of, I guess, height and variation. Anyway, that is one thing with screenshots. I just wanted to remember to get some. The Rune Keeper, they might have had more DPS in 2015. I don't know. One reason this character is weak is because of the debuff from being on the higher difficulty. And another thing is, at some point, which has been since 2015, at some point they made some balance adjustments, and I'm trying to remember if it was update 23 or just somewhere around there. I think that was when it was before, I think, the initial legendary servers launch, or maybe it was after Anor and Ithil launched. I don't remember exactly when, the time frame there, but the point is tactical classes were made a lot weaker relative to the physical classes at low level. So I think that is something this character is still running into, kind of the balance issues, I guess, relative balance issues. I don't know if the problem is that physical classes are too strong potentially, or tactical classes are too weak, but there is that balance issue, the difference there between the two that I have noticed. I feel like Lore Master is even worse at this level. While they do ramp up, I think, in the 20s, especially the Ball Guardian pet is kind of OP, but the Lore Master is my most recent experience leveling from low levels, and in the 20s is when I noticed they go up in the damage. And it has been too long since I've played a Rune Keeper to remember, even though I did level 1 on Anor. But yeah, I think this is a good point for me to wrap up the stream. I hope y'all did enjoy me catching up a little bit. I know it's been something at least I personally have to get used to. Maybe it was pretty normal as far as the stream goes, but yeah, getting caught up with things on the server and just catching up with you all again for future content. I haven't really thought too much about it, but probably will be back on Wednesday with my kinship on the server is the next thing I plan to have, and hopefully can work on a video between now and then. But otherwise, I think that is a good point to wrap up this stream. Got some good progress on my Guardian, ready for North Downs and Wathren on my Guardian, and potentially some missions. And this Rune Keeper is ready for Southern Barrow Down, so that is all exciting for the future with these characters, and I'm happy with where I got them today, even if it was a very late stream. And yeah, as far as the stream goes, I hope you all also enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.